The weekly warm pipe.
Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
You didn't have a Santa hat, Jay?
No, I actually do have one, and I almost said, do you want me to go put it on? But I was like, make Russ wait for enough crap. I won't
I'm
make him
probably
wait for this.
going to be sweating. I got the flannel on, the Santa hat.
Yeah, you're all
like
festive. I just look like normal Jay.
It's normal Jay.
Yep.
Well, we're keeping with the holiday themed. We figured we try a topic, I guess, talking about Christmas, what made Christmas magical for us in
Yeah.
general, right? Back in the 80s, 90s. Maybe why it's not so magical now, I guess,
Right.
right? Those are the topics we're kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's a very subjective thing, but I think we're going to be able to touch on several key elements that made Christmas magical for us when we were kids. Um, I mean, one of the first things that comes to mind for me is, and I just thought of this as you were opening the intro, Christmas commercials.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
Back in the day, you know, you didn't have to pay for like a streaming service, or you weren't required to have cable to watch decent television. I mean, and I guess you can still get some stuff with an antenna nowadays, but I feel like we have moved from that. And I don't see near as many commercials as I used to, especially holiday themed commercials, Russ.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys know me, I usually do my Christmas special on my channel, Russ Lyman Christmas special. And I always try to put older holiday commercials in, whether it be geez, anything. They
Fruity
had ones
Pebbles,
Fruity Pebbles. They had one for pretty much any type of candy, like Campbell's soup, the
7 Up, M&M's.
the Hershey Kiss
Yeah,
jingle.
yep. Did you
Even I'd say like commercials for video games
Yeah,
that were like, "Hey, come to our store for the holiday, and this is maybe on your wish list." I don't see any like, "Hey, come grab a PS5 for your wish list."
right. Yeah, I mean, there were so many Christmas commercials, like, you just named a ton of good ones. The one that always comes to my mind first is the Fruity Pebbles one. I love the line where Barney's singing the song, and he goes, "Ho, ho, ho, I'm hungry," and then Santa Bump comes in and, like, cools Fred down because Fred's mad that Barney's trying to steal his pebbles, and he's pretending to be Santa, and he's like, "It is the season to be sharing, Fred." Like, I don't know, it just warms my heart. Fred and
Yeah.
Barney Rebel.
And I'll download some YouTube what would be a compilation of retro commercials where I'll pick and choose what I'm putting in my holiday special, but it's cool to see just all of them, up there and being like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing that on TV." And maybe it's just because like you said we're in the era of streaming,
Yep.
and if you're on your Hulu app or Disney Plus or any of that, like you're not going to get commercials, so to say, because you're paying already for the app.
Yeah. Another good one is the one where the peanut M&M and the regular M&M run into Santa Claus, and it's like he does exist. He's like, they do exist, and they both kind of faint. And
Yeah, yeah. They go into the living room where Santa's putting gifts under the tree, and they
yep,
notice each other.
yep,
And even too, not just commercials, almost watching your um cable, right? You might get a commercial for like this Friday, Home Alone at 8 o'clock on
right,
NBC, and you're like,
yeah.
"Oh man, like I can't wait!" Like,
Well, even that, like on regular television, they would like advertise for like this Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Frosty and Rudolph, classic Christmas cartoons, that you remember from when you were a child or whatever, and it shows the old like Rankin and Bass, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and you know just advertisements for like shows like that, or like The Simpsons, their very first episode, December like 17th, 1989, or whatever day it was.
mhm.
It was a Christmas special,
Yeah,
and I think sitcoms did a really good job of like throwing in a Christmas special back then too. Like you would see like a Home Improvement Christmas special, or like maybe you would see some like Christmas decor in the background of a holiday themed Family Matters or something. So
right. So like everything that you were consuming on television had that theme to it,
hmm
where you're watching your favorite show, and you're like, "Oh, cool! Yeah, it's Christmas time here and there as well."
yeah.
And like you said, with maybe like Family Matters, or like Home Improvement and all that, you can kind of see how Christmas is celebrated in other parts of the country where,
Right.
I'm on the East Coast, so I obviously get snow over here, but maybe having Christmas in California, you're like, how does that look? I don't know, because I'm
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So only Saved by the Bell can tell us,
that is true. That is true.
or 90210 Christmas, yeah.
So definitely watching Christmas specials, Christmas commercials coming up would say certainly made it feel more magical and cheery and I don't know, put you in the mood, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
What else we got? What else we got?
So I got plenty, Russ. I'm like
Oh,
an
good, good.
encyclopedia full
You
of information for this
just
stuff.
just whipping them out.
I'm just gonna throw them out there, and we can just talk about them. What about just school in general? It's the last couple days. You're about to go on Christmas vacation. Maybe your teachers are a little burnt themselves from all the holiday, from all the kids, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna do like some Christmas themed, arts and crafts,
Right.
or we're gonna do a Christmas maze, or
Yeah,
whatever the
yeah,
case would be.
Christmas like like a little spreadsheet or
Yeah, we're
photocopy
gonna
thing
we're
where
gonna
like
we're gonna do a Christmas word search. Like just throwing in whatever bits of minimally educational stuff they can that's Christmas themed. And then obviously you're counting down to the Christmas party. My son's looking forward to his Friday. Where everybody brings in snacks, and
oh, nice.
and you're just so excited for when when that day's over, like Christmas break is on, and you can play video games as much as you want, and you know and and even like the teachers, they decorate their rooms with Christmas decor, so you see different holiday themed stuff around the school, so it's like a constant reminder that you're ready to be done with school, but it
Yeah,
makes it a
yeah.
little more enjoyable to see that kind of stuff around the schoolyard.
I say even maybe people, the teachers wheeling out that cart with the TV on it. Like,
That's
all right,
right.
we're gonna watch a, Miracle on 34th Street or
That's right.
some classic.
Home Alone, anything, like anything's better than doing work. So it's like, sure, I'll watch Polar Express, or, whatever the movie would be. So we can,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think all that stuff's super relevant. Maybe you have a real special friend, like have had Russ and I went to school together. Maybe I bring Russ a little Christmas present, like, here you go, Russ. And Russ opens it, and it's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pencil box or something.
Score.
That's right.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess just being at school and, like, daydreaming about what games possibly you'll get or
Yeah,
toys that you're gonna get for Christmas and, like, "Oh, I'm gonna be able to play with these on Christmas break," for sure.
yeah,
What's funny with me is, so my birthday is the 19th, very close to Christmas, so sometimes I would get video games or some gifts on my birthday, and then this way, okay, Christmas comes and I get a little bit more, so I kinda double down on that. I'm like, "Hey, extra gifts for me."
that's right. Yeah. Man, I had something I was gonna say. My ADD just kicked in real hard. What was it? I had something good, Russ. I had a little nugget for you. It's gone. It's gone. I'll have to see if it comes back to me.
Little Christmas trivia or
Yeah.
something.
Oh no. Oh man. Yeah, I had it again, and then as soon as it was there, it left again. It'll come back, and I'll have to interrupt. But
Well, how
anyway.
about this? I know you're on tune with this. What about eating Christmas themed cereal?
Oh, dude. Yeah, we have Elf cereal downstairs right now. Christmas Crunch,
What is
and
elf cereal? Like Elf the
so
movie cereal?
no, no, it's like, it's like those little elves that parents hide around their house,
Ah,
and
yes, okay.
and, no, I mean, they magically move, what am I saying? And, and anyway, they made a cereal based off that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so, and
But
and now I'm
Christmas
seeing
Crunch is good now. Yeah.
Christmas Crunch is like the classic Christmas cereal. All these other new Christmas cereals are imposters. Like Christmas Crunch has been around the longest. I
Yeah,
see like
yeah.
Rice Krispie Christmas themed cereal now. It's like red and green Rice Krispie treats, and Snap Crackle and Pop, or like wearing like Christmas type outfits on the front of the box. But yeah, so there's Christmas cereal. Yeah, what a great way to start a breakfast for you know the beginning of a holiday break.
Oh, wait here. Speaking of, I could reach over here. Hang on.
Oh, I can reach right here. Look at this. Look what I got in here, Russ.
Oh, there you go. Wow, look at that. Right with it. It's the new box there. It looks like a Christmas sweater.
This is actually last year's box before they changed Captain Crunch into a creepy looking, soulless, lifeless person. That's gonna be worth money someday.
Fair enough. Well, on the subject of food, if we're talking food still, definitely I get excited when I go to the store and they got the little Debbie's, right? Boom.
So,
Got your
Russ,
Christmas
I'll
trees.
I'll have you know that I don't buy Little Debbie's all year, but in the month of late November and early December, as soon as those tree cakes come out, I'm jumping on those things. Dude, I eat those things. I bet I gain 10 pounds every December just alone on those.
We found these yesterday. We had to swing by Walmart to get some overnight diapers and some other stuff, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I could get the trees." And we're looking like down the snack aisle, and it wasn't there. And she's like, "Well, I bet they're on like an end cap." So
Right,
we get there, and I was like, "Oh, I see the little Debbie end cap." And I get there, and it's like filled with a whole bunch of other crap that's not little Debbie's. Like
right.
it's like Walmart brand, and then on the backside, it was like 2 boxes of the trees left, and I was like, "They should be stocked up. We still got like a week till
I
Christmas."
know, dude. Like every time I see them, I grab them. There's actually a box downstairs that's like mostly full. I almost hid it for myself so I forget about it. So I can when I remember every once in a while, I'm like, all right, because I'm trying not to eat too many of them. You know.
Yeah. What else you got? I'll say something.
I mean, if you got one, throw it out there, Russ.
I would say, like you said, anticipating up to Christmas Day. I think making it magical is that anticipation and trying to stay up as late as you can the
Yeah,
night before, and you got the Christmas tree lights on, and you're just kind of hanging out watching TV, all the specials. And I just remember, laying in bed and you almost can't sleep because you're so excited for the next
right.
day. When's Santa gonna come? Um, maybe I'm playing some video games all night, just staying up. I can't sleep because I remember a few times like I would try to maybe stay up the night before so I would be tired enough to fall asleep early on Christmas Eve, or my
Oh,
mom
that's
would
hilarious.
give me like a Benadryl or something like that. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. Like I want
That's
to be able to
funny.
crash.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, you just touched on something that I thought that I haven't said yet, but like just having a Christmas tree in your house, like it's not like something you do all year long. It's like once a year. It's this beautiful tree, people decorate them differently. Some people have like white lights, some people have colored lights. I kind of have gone back and forth. Um, but when I was a little kid, I specifically have this memory of laying with my head up underneath the tree and like looking up through the branches and seeing all the lights. And I don't know why I did that, but it was just I think I love the smell of the pine tree because I think we had a natural tree, a real tree.
Well, I was gonna say, is it real or fake? Yeah.
Yeah, so now my tree's fake, but then it was real. And just so like smelling that pine scent and, seeing all those pretty uh, colorful lights. And we had, my family and I had decorated the tree and I always liked to be a part of that. It's funny now, like my kids don't love decorating the tree. And like
Okay.
I don't think they look forward to it the way I did when I was a kid. And I don't know if it's like they don't want to be bothered with it, but it's like, man, I couldn't wait to decorate that tree. That was just such a magical thing for me. And my mom would usually like put a Christmas tape on or maybe a CD a little later in the 90s or just the radio and having that
Hmm.
Christmas music. And I tend to do that. I'll just be like, "Hey Alexa, play classic Christmas music," and it'll say can't find classic Christmas station because it wants to be politically correct, and it says holiday favorites because it refuses to say the word Christmas because it hates Christ and it hates Jesus. Anyway, um, so but Christmas music I feel like was also another thing because you got that playing in the background and
Right. Right.
and I don't know if your family is like our family, Russ, but like we do a little bit of extra decorating. We might have some like Christmas trees over here, some reindeer over there, and like little trinkets. I have some Courier and Ives pictures
What the
that
heck
are
is
like
that?
so it'll be like a picture print of Courier and Ives. These wonderful things are the things we remember all through our
Hmm.
lives. Anyway, it's like an old print from like I don't know, like the 1920s or 30s. So it's like an old barn. It just looks
How do I look this up? I don't even know how to spell
so
Courier and
say Currier and Ives, Ives. They're very cool prints. I have two of them that my mother-in-law gave me. Thank you,
okay,
Lisa,
okay.
that we like to put in our house. And they're very cool. They're very rad. They're black and white, and it's just kind of like an old timey Christmas print. Yeah, and
I see,
they
okay.
have like the almost like the Budweiser horses.
Right,
Um,
right.
but it's even in the Christmas song that I just sang.
I
But
gotcha.
yeah, so we have a couple of those in the house just for like some old school Christmas fun. Um, but yeah, um, I don't know, just decorating the house
Yeah, we
is
would play, I'd say, the Elvis Christmas CD
yeah. Oh,
was
nice.
certainly a classic to play while decorating the tree. Oh, I'll have a blue Christmas
Without
without
you,
you.
yeah.
So that play, and then we probably put on like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, and that's a classic.
So those are
Alvin,
like
Alvin.
2 that I would constantly, bring me back to my childhood of,
Me,
decorating the
I
tree.
want a hula hoop.
So, yeah, I always put those in the mix. But, yeah, decorating the tree with mom, you know, getting the decorations, right, that
Mhm.
I made
Oh,
while I
yeah.
was in school. I don't know if
Yep,
you have any of yours left,
I think
but
so.
I have, like, it's like a picture frame of, um you take a picture of your head, and then there was, like, a Santa or something popsicle stick thing, and you put your picture on it, like one of those.
Russ, you know what I have? I have a picture of my face from it's kindergarten or 1st grade because it was when I lived in North Carolina, and it's glued to the back of a Hardee's ashtray with a little piece of red yarn, and it's so awesome. Like, I almost wanna run downstairs and grab it because I feel like
Oh,
you
it's
have to
on the
see this.
tree?
Yeah, but it's like these little tinfoil Hardee's ashtrays,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they,
yeah.
but the backside of them was gold, so it, like, makes, like, a perfect background for a Christmas
Background
ornament,
for a little
and
project.
then my little face is on there with yeah, it's so funny.
That's a good one. I wanna say I had something with, like, the Budweiser dog, wasn't that a or Bud Light dog or
Spud
something like that?
McKenzie?
Yeah, I don't know, like, as an ornament, who knows? Maybe I got it from my dad.
Dude, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ornaments that I got in the '90s.
Nice.
Yeah, they're like look,
Those are
you
pretty
should
good,
Google
man.
them. They're like it's like white and it's almost like yarn, like because some of them are kind of fuzzy where they're old. And then like those little slips you used to put over Easter eggs and then heat them up and they would like form to the Easter eggs so your Easter eggs could have like characters on them back in the day. It almost has
Me
like a slip like that around it.
let's see, I'll pull up some here and see if these are any
Yeah, they're white with Ninja Turtle like little stickers on 'em. Oh yeah, that one
like
right there. No, so I think I have that one and I think I have the one to the right where they're like on a sled. Yep, that
oh,
one.
wow, okay. Yeah, so they're pretty big ball.
Yeah, but they're freaking radical.
Nice. What are
Yep.
these going for? 20 bucks on eBay,
What's the one down there on the bottom
$40.
left?
Jeez.
Click the bottom left there. Yeah,
Hey,
I have
dudes, Merry Christmas.
yep, I have that exact ball.
Nice.
Yep. They're
Yeah,
great, man.
I'll have to look into those. I wonder if it says that one says 90s as well, so themed Christmas or so, get it that could be another thing making it magical, you picking out, what ornaments you want on the tree to personalize it to
Yep.
your likeness, like, Ninja Turtles were real big. I'm sure I had, like, a vintage Batman on my tree because I was big into Batman.
Yeah, these right here are ornaments, Russ, that I got in the last couple of years. I'm sure you have these. The little
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo and Super Nintendo my face is killing this right now.
The ornaments from, Hallmark that they
Yeah,
release every
there we
year.
go. And you push the little button, so that's pretty fun, and then you get the classic Nintendo. So, yeah.
I had missed out on the, Nintendo one, but I got the Super Nintendo, and they did a Sega, and I think this year, um, was the Xbox,
Ooh,
I
that'd be
wanna
cool.
say, and they also did a Dreamcast. I think I picked that one up as well, so I'm still missing the NES, so I'll have to pick that one up.
There you go. eBay.
eBay it is.
Whatever
Hey.
it is, it's on eBay. Um, what else we got, Russ? One of the things that made Christmas special for me was my dad was a pastor, and we lived right across the street from a church, and church is a big part of Christmas. Can't spell Christ or Christmas without the word Christ in it. And so our church would always be decorated with like beautiful, beautiful wreaths and trees, and I could see it across the street in big red
Mhm.
bows. And we had like special church services where they would sing Christmas hymns. And one of the coolest things was my dad did like this midnight service.
Okay.
And
I was gonna ask
and
if you had a midnight service.
yeah, and so that was always really rad because I could stay up till midnight on Christmas Eve, and I remember walking across the street from our house to the church. It would always be really cold, and I remember, like, looking up in the sky, looking for, like Rudolph's nose, and I would see, like, planes, or sometimes I might see, like, some of those towers, and I'm like, "Is that Rudolph? Like, what is
Blinking,
that?"
yeah, yeah, with the
What is
lights.
that red light? Yeah. And then like, because there was a little something creepy about Christmas too. Like this guy's gonna sneak in my house tonight and I don't sleep and leave me presents. Like that's kind of weird. So that's kind of eerie. And I was walking across at night to go to a church, which was really kind of weird to do at midnight too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then my dad would keep like all it would be like a candlelit service. So like all the lights would be off in the this fairly large sanctuary, and not many people came because it's
It's
midnight, it's
midnight, yeah,
Christmas.
yeah.
There might be 20, 25 people
Well,
there,
did you do, like, a 9 o'clock service and then or whatever, and then a midnight?
No, no, it was like midnight only. Yeah, the
Oh,
rest of the
okay.
time we were spending with family across the street, and it was like, "Come to the midnight service if you want," so, like,
Yeah.
it was just something he did. It was pretty short, it might have been like half an hour, it's pretty short, and then you walk back home, and then, after the walk back home, that's when mom's like, "Alright, go off to bed." And Santa can't come until you go to sleep, that kind of thing. And that also brings up another memory, Russ, and I don't know if you have this memory. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're an only child, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So I had an older brother and sister. I basically grew up an only child, but I had this 16-year-old brother and 18-year-old sister. So they didn't live with us, so they would come home for Christmas, and that was always exciting because I got to hang out with them, and, they're older, they're cool, my brother would play, like, Nintendo with me, and my sister would, like, buy me things and, like, take me shopping, and we'd go to the mall, which we'll get into that too, um, but I always remember them having to wrap presents, and my parents, like, in the bedroom, and they'd be wrapping, like, the day or a couple days before Christmas or Christmas Eve, and, like, me, like, being in the other room and, like, what's in those packages? Like, what are they
Right.
wrapping in
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
Kind of that wonder. What is it gonna be?
yeah. Trying to remember the wrapping paper to be like, "Oh, oh, yeah, I remember them wrapping this yesterday," like,
And Russ, this is a weird thing too. I don't know if you remember this. I don't get this quite the way I did when I was a kid, but wrapping paper has this very specific smell.
hmm,
And I think when you're a child, your sense of smell is a lot better than it is when you're an adult. Because I just remember the smell of wrapping paper. It's I can't even describe what it smells like, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm smelling wrapping
Does
paper
it does it
as I'm
smell good right now? Like, did you get this
I
like
this is recent.
yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
do I do like, though, I appreciate wrapping paper's come a long way. Look at this, they got grid
you
work
got the grid, yeah,
on the back there, which makes cutting it so much easier.
for all the dads out there. Yeah. My sister used to work at Belk's and she was like a really amazing rapper. I'm awful at it. But I like the smell of wrapping paper. I mean, I feel like that was a very nostalgic thing because when you're tearing it open in the morning, it's like that smell just kind of enters your nose. And I think that's something only kids can smell because this is slightly off topic and I'll try not to stay on this too long. But I noticed in the summertime, even when people cut grass, the scent of grass isn't as strong as to me as it was back in summers when I was a kid. I was like, oh, I can smell the grass being cut when I was like walking around outside. But yeah, I don't know. I think that whole thing was of the parents wrapping the presents in the room with the door shut, like the wonder of
With the
that.
mystery, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And we touched on malls, and
Right,
malls are always kind of all done up at Christmas. You see more people shopping. Um,
exactly, yeah.
there's Christmas decorations. There may be wreaths when you walk in the front of Belk's or something, and Christmas trees, and holiday displays, and oftentimes, Russ, as you know, in the middle of the mall, who's there waiting to see you?
That's right. The big man himself.
The big man himself. It's Santa Claus and his elves. And you go up there and you sit on his lap and pay way too much to take a picture with him, and he gives you a measly candy cane that's hardly worth eating, and you tell him what you want for Christmas, and you say, "I want a Red Ryder action BB rifle," whatever it is that Ralphie says, except maybe it's a Nintendo, and I want this, and you try to tell him all the things you want, and you ask if you've been a good boy or a good girl, and then he takes his boot and shoves you down the slide.
Um, and yeah, oftentimes, I mean, they would be playing Christmas music right through the mall,
Yeah.
so that kind of gets you into the spirit and wants you to, I guess, stay in the mall. And I thought the mall was a good place to go Christmas shopping because it's your one stop shop instead of me driving to Bradley's, driving to Caldor's, driving to Sears. It's like
Yep.
go to the mall. I can hit the sports store, the Bath and Body Works for mom,
Yep.
and and you're just all in one spot and having a good time. Maybe it's a little bit crowded, but I kind of puts you in the spirit there,
And there's
I think.
always so many cars, it's like people
Oh,
come out of
it's
the flipping woodwork. Like, where do these
taking it
people live
out.
at?
Yes, like trying to leave the mall,
Oh yeah, it's like a nightmare.
lines coming out. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is the holiday traffic." But I don't know, I seem to enjoy it, like, as a kid, like,
Yeah,
definitely where I am now in Milford, Connecticut is where a mall is. It's
yeah.
fairly a dying mall, so
Oh man, that's
that is
sad.
crowded. I'll be there tomorrow, seeing a movie, so I'll see 'cause the movie theater is attached to the mall, so I'll
Mhm.
see if people are kinda out and about being so close to the holidays.
Yeah,
Maybe, maybe not.
yeah, yeah. I remember all that stuff. I remember, like, I know we talked about this earlier, but, like, one time I had this memory of, like Scrooged came on with, what's his Bill
Bill Murray.
Murray. Yeah, and I remember, like, I didn't really seem super I wasn't into it, like, when it first was the credits were rolling or whatever, but, like, I actually ended up watching it. It was a good movie, but, like, you'd catch little things like that. I know we kinda discussed TV earlier, but,
Well,
um,
I watched that, yesterday, we ended up watching it. It's
you
true.
ever you ever watch the what it's not Scrooge, what's the Charles Dickens, Ebenezer Scrooge, maybe? It's, like, just like the old one, like the black and white one?
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure if I
I
seen it.
can't remember the name of that movie exactly,
Try to
but
look it up.
it's like the story of Scrooge. It's pretty good for a black and white film, and
Black and
kinda
white.
just classic, it has, like, Tiny Tim and
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I seen this one. I bet you my wife did, though.
yeah, it's streaming.
Ebenezer Scrooge,
Maybe that's just what it's called, yeah.
or just maybe Scrooge? No, because
Yeah.
it's one or the other.
If you ever get a chance to watch it, I think it's worth the watch, even though it's, like, an older movie. I can't remember exactly when it came out, but obviously it's black and white, but it's still really good.
Nice. Yeah.
Um, the other thing I guess you could think of is, like, maybe you're, like, in a Christmas play or, like, a Christmas singing. Like, I know my daughter she's in the chorus at school, and they've been having, like, Christmas concerts, and when I was a kid, obviously, I went to church, and like, our children's choir would put on, like, a little program, like, on a Wednesday night or something, you know?
Okay, okay. I will
So,
say, I went to, catechism
I don't know what that is.
growing up. Yeah, it's something religious, right?
Oh,
With
cool. I
with,
mean,
uh
I didn't know.
you know, it went for a few years. My mom was, like, helping out as one of the teachers, and I
Okay.
and I do remember being in the play, right? They
Oh,
had the
cool.
the church play, and, maybe I was a background character, but basically they're kinda telling the story of Jesus, and
Yeah,
you got the 3 wise men. I might have
right.
been one of the wise men, but I distinctly remember getting there, you getting ready in the background, we do the play,
Yeah,
parents all there, and then we get to have snacks after.
yeah.
That was fun.
That's how they bring you in. You gotta have snacks.
Eat the snacks.
It's kinda like on Home Alone 2, like Kevin's getting all ready in Home Alone 2, and, Uncle Frank's in the shower, and he has to sneak in to get his tie because he has, like, a chorus concert, so him and Buzz are up there singing, and then Buzz has the little lights, and he's drumming on Kevin's head while he's singing his solo, and he lights up the back of his ears. I mean, like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, at
Kevin
the
turns around and punches him, and it's, like, all chaos, but, like, stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, obviously, Gwen's 2 now, so I got a ways off till she's doing some concerts at school to go
Right.
see, so that'll be part of the new magic, but
Yeah. But that's fun. Or what about like did your parents ever like get together with like family friends or whatever? Like um my
I
dad was being a pastor of a church, we were always getting invited to somebody's house and like they would have like Christmas punch and Christmas cookies and
right.
we might get some gifts or something.
I remember one time going to a party and it just I don't know who it was, but I remember going there and I remember the person having a piano
Uh-huh.
and then they started playing some Christmas songs and singing it, and I thought that was really cool. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow, like, live music. Here we go.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty
a
cool.
party."
Yeah, there was this older couple at our church and they invited us over and I remember going to their house and my parents are talking to them and they're kind of like let Jay do whatever he wants. So I'm like in their living room and their Christmas tree is up and I'm watching Coach cuz for some reason as a kid I loved Coach. It's a great TV show. And then I remember as I left she gave me like this little nutcracker cuz she had like a whole like huge
Display of them.
collection of nutcrackers and so she gave me one of them. And I was like, I always thought that was really cool.
She's like, "Here, take one home."
Yeah. Take these 2 turtle doves. Just kidding. Yeah, everything's a Home Alone reference. But, yeah, and then the other thing I think is just, like, your parents. Like, you don't really realize how much your parents do to make the holidays magic until you have your own kids.
That's
Man, they
true,
go
that's
out of
true.
their way. They go so out of their way, they're spending money they don't really have probably to buy you that perfect gift, and or they're trying their best, if they even if they can't afford exactly what you want, they're trying to get you something close or at least the best they can, and,
And to keep the magic up, right? About the
yeah,
whole
the whole
spiel
shebang. That's right.
shebang.
You
There you go.
gotta you gotta, keep all that going, and yeah, if I can give you any advice for us, do not do Elf on the Shelf. It's just one more thing.
I saw a post and this and that, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think I wanna get into that," but I did see
Mm,
something that was way easier and still it captures that magic,
yeah,
is if, you you get a pine cone,
okay.
right? And you bring the pine cone to your living room, put it on a dish, and you have your kid come out and water the magic pine cone, put them
Oh.
to bed, and then during the night, you set up your tree and decorate it, and then it
Oh,
sprouts the Christmas tree.
now that's kinda radical. I never heard of that.
So I was like, "Oh, okay."
It's pretty
So I
interesting.
was like, "That could be something."
I'll show
You
you for, if all right, I'm gonna say this real quick, if there's kids in the room, maybe I should have said this 5 or 6 times already, get them out, but I'll show you the links I went to one time. I don't know how good you can see this. Hang on, I just messed it up, hang on. This is my front porch, okay?
Okay.
And this is TikTok, and if you watch, you can see the elf fly down in front of the porch and
I
then
did see it.
fly away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you're posting, like, "Here's my Ring doorbell footage of
Of the elf
the
getting
elf."
caught on camera, yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty good. How'd you would you fishing line? Would you
Yep, that's exactly what I used, and, like,
just out
so
there?
so right off our bathroom is a window, and that goes to, like, a little ledge with some shingles, and if you stand on that ledge with the fishing line, you can just swing the elf. So I did it about 20 takes before I finally got one that I
Got a
thought was
good one.
pretty good, but it was freezing that night, and I was out there forever, about, like, 30, 40 minutes trying to figure that out,
Nice.
but yeah, but yeah, so I think parents, play a huge role in making Christmas magic. And I lost my dad in '95 Thanksgiving. So my last Christmas with him was '94. And just like him not being there in Christmas of '95, it just a lot of Christmas magic was lost after that, after just not having a parent anymore. Um, because obviously it was a huge loss for our family and myself, and just like a huge presence, an empty chair at a table that impossible to fill. Um, but I think my dad played a huge reason in why Christmas was so special to me. And I don't mean to diminish anything from my mom. I'm sure she was doing stuff behind the scenes too, but just his role in the church, and there's that crossover between like you know Christian religion and Santa Claus and and all the traditions we have also. So it was like I got the best of both worlds, I kinda got all of it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Is there anything that I missed, Russ? I'm sure there's 1,000 other things that make Christmas magical.
Christmas magical. I mean, just being with your friends and said you got that Christmas break coming up as a kid, thinking about all the fun you're gonna have playing in the snow.
Right?
And I guess just like I said, I don't know. I just remember the nights before,
Mm,
Christmas Eve or leading up to that and just sitting in the living room with the Christmas tree lights on and
yeah,
just kind of,
yeah.
I don't know, soaking it in, whether you're just hanging out on the couch, eating some Christmas snacks, maybe they're Andes mints
Ooh,
or
yeah. Oh, yeah, those are good.
ginger snaps or something like that. Definitely made it feel special. And you're like, all right, I'm
And
excited. I don't
I
have
don't know.
no responsibilities, right? Else
Yeah,
add to it.
none. Yeah, for sure. You're just waiting. And I tend to be a firm believer that Christmas Eve is actually better than Christmas Day. I feel the build up and the excitement tends to be cooler and better than sometimes the actual product you get on Christmas morning. And when I say product, I don't mean like the things you get. I mean like just the show of it all. At least as an adult. When you're a kid, you just can't wait to tear into those presents. And there was nothing better than getting my NES in 1989 or my go kart in 92 or whatever it was. Um, but Christmas Eve, that it's like, it's like just before like the climax of all of it, and you're just right there waiting on it. And it's just so magical that night. You're just,
Oh yeah.
it's all about to come to a head tomorrow. And then I think the saddest day of the year is like the 26th. The only thing I can describe is like I don't know if you've ever. Well, I'll just leave that out. But like it's just all over. It's just over, and there's nothing else to look forward to. It's just done.
That's
But
it. Yeah. Downhill from there.
it's
As
all downhill. That's actually the day I proposed to Haley
was the
was
26th.
was the 26th because it's like Boxing Day and the most anticlimactic day of the year. Like no one's expecting anything good to happen the 26th.
Good call. Good call.
So I was like, that's a good day to
Did you were
surprise
you like,
somebody.
oh, there's an extra gift under the tree over there to guess.
No, no, no. So actually, I had this huge plan, and I can tell it real quick. Um, so Haley was going to spend Christmas with me, and then she was going to get up the next morning and drive to Ohio to see her family. And I told her that I had to work, so I had to stay behind. What was actually supposed to happen was I was going to be getting on a plane an hour after she left, flying to Ohio, getting picked up by her family, beating her there, hiding in the basement. Um, And then because one of the things she said, she goes, "Oh, I want to be dressed up and have my makeup on when you give me my ring. So that way when we take pictures, I'm all ready and I'm not like, just getting out of the shower or something surprised." So they were going to say, "Hey, Haley, go ahead and get ready. We're going to go out to dinner."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then they were going to say, "Hey, before dinner, we want to give you a special Christmas present, before we have dinner." And I was gonna come out of the basement, she's gonna have her eyes closed, and I'm gonna be there with the ring on one knee, and she's gonna be like, "I thought had to
Had
work.
work, yeah.
Why did you make me drive up here alone?" You know, and all this stuff. And I'm like, "Hey, I know you drove alone, but guess what? We're getting married." But of all things to happen, it never snows in South Carolina. Christmas Day night, it snowed leading into the 26th. So Haley wakes up and she's like, "I don't know. I don't know if I should drive up there." And I'm thinking, "You better drive up there. I got to be on a plane in an hour." But then I'm also like, "I don't know if my plane's going to even take
That's
off
true,
because we
that's
got
true.
snow here. So they can even fly out, because South Carolina, we don't have all the fancy stuff you guys have up in the north to be prepared for stuff like that." So long story short, she decides not to drive up, and I basically just have to say, "Well, honey, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you this, but you ruined your proposal. This is gonna happen. Here's my bags packed, hiding in the bathtub in the spare bathroom." And so she's like, "Oh, I can't believe I messed up my proposal." And so she's like calling her mom at like 6 in the morning. "Mom, I ruined my proposal, and and they can't fly up anymore." And I was able to cancel my flight. And um, but the night before, I was at my friend Brad and Brandy's house, and I was talking to Brandy, and I was like, I gotta have a plan B in case this snow ruins everything because I kind of had the idea that this could be a problem.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when I went home and like 2 in the morning, I ended up building a snowman in the front yard. And I was like, all right, well, worst comes to worst, I'll put the ring on the snowman's finger, bring her out in the front yard and propose in the front yard. So that's exactly what happened because you know, she wasn't going to go to Ohio. So then after all that, she decides to go to Ohio anyway. So we ride to Ohio together after like 3 hours when the snow kind of stopped.
There we go.
That's my engagement story. That was Christmas magic.
There we go. I dig it.
Yeah,
Had a happy ending.
that's right. So
Let's see. Well, we reached out to you guys to see what makes Christmas magic. Maybe give us some stories. So we posted on our Instagram and YouTube community page. So we'll see what you guys had to say.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
All right. Over on the YouTube community page, we got Steve V's Man Cave Arcade. I think the build up to the day is what made it fun. Putting up the Christmas tree, watching the Santa Claus parade, looking at the Sears slash Toys R Us catalog,
oh yeah, how would forget that?
and writing my Christmas list as Santa.
Russ, that's what I was gonna say. When we were early on and like my ADD kicked in,
Yeah,
I was gonna
Santa.
say, your teacher is like, it's like, hey, it's like the perfect time to turn an English assignment in. Like, hey, let's write our Christmas list. What do you, a letter to Santa or whatever?
That's true. That's true. By the time the day came, I was so excited to see what I got for Christmas and spend time with my family.
That's right.
Let's see. We got It's All Doug and Games.
Whew.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band
I
Christmas.
have no idea what that is.
You've never seen that?
No clue.
It's I believe it's by Jim Henson, I wanna say.
Interesting.
It's a Christmas movie. It's an interesting one. Could be a classic to some people growing up for sure. He said, and to tie this directly to video gaming, I will never understand how this was never adapted to a video game. I mean, they did make video games out of pretty much everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, let's see. We got Tanny Garcia. Getting the Super Nintendo changed my life.
Right. No kidding.
That certainly would be magical. Yeah, for sure. And what else we got? Instagram, the old Instagram.
The
Couple stories on
gram.
here. Gingerbeard, the gaming dad. It was a lot. The snow, time off from school, the magic of lights and music, and everyone happy. And I can't forget the toys and video games.
That's right.
T. Sedini, having lots of people around was special. I remember as a kid, my parents would bring me to many houses on Christmas Eve to visit. Parties with dozens of people, including aunts and uncles, cousins. I feel like nowadays families are smaller and don't put in the effort like we used to in the 80s.
Mhm.
Do you guys find this to be true as well? That's interesting how he said he went to like multiple parties
Yeah.
where I feel now it's just like who's having the one party, we'll all just
Yeah.
go there rather than hopping
Party
around.
hop. Yeah, that sounds fun though.
Yeah, we're hoping we had hosted last year Christmas Eve at the condo, but we're definitely excited. We'll be in the new house to host Christmas Eve for next year for sure. So it'll be, I'm sure, a fun shindig and maybe a tradition.
There you go.
Just this is you.
That's me. Just
I'm
Case
like, I'm
Fitness.
like, wait a minute.
Like,
Just
who is
Jake.
this guy?
I believe my dad played a large role in what made Christmas magical.
Which I expelled upon already, so.
That's true. That's true. Ties Gaming and Collections. I was using his new Instagram. Looking back as an adult, getting the time off, the lights, seeing family, and just being able to stay up later than normal, play video games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we had touched on that, like having the Christmas vacation,
Mhm.
and like I said, staying up late. So then this way I'll be able to fall asleep. Like I couldn't go to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock like normal time, like just fall asleep.
Right.
And we got was this braised pros- processing braised processing. My mom is from Scotland. Okay. So she always made sure to find British Cadbury chocolates here in the
Interesting.
States to put in our stockings. Now at 40, I pass along the tradition to my kids and get the same chocolates from a local British stores or World Mart.
Oh, cool. World Market, yeah.
I don't think I know that that is. The
World
World Mart.
Market, it's kinda like a fancy furniture store, but they also have, like, craft beers from other countries and all kinda
Oh,
random foods from other countries. It's kind of a fun little place.
okay. Yeah, I will say too, yeah, magical is I mentioned the stocking stuffers you get, right?
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to the candy in there. Um, I would always get here, we'll do another short story here. I would always end up getting a Blockbuster video gift card. And the thing about that is I'd get the card in my stocking stuffer, open it up, and then Christmas Day we would go to my aunt's for dinner about 1 o'clock or so, stay there till maybe 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And driving home, we would then stop by Blockbuster Video because Blockbuster was open on Christmas.
Yeah.
People gotta rent movies, I guess, right?
Right.
Close. So then I would use my gift card then to buy used video games there.
Oh, cool.
So then it's like, okay, I got maybe 1 game or 2 games for
Right.
Christmas. It's like, all right, now I can get a few more.
Yeah, you can kinda pick them, you know?
Yeah, so I remember just going to the bin that they had of the used games, kind of fumbling through, it's probably the era of, like, N64, maybe some
Yeah.
games in there, and, didn't have much to go off of where it's just a you with the cart games, it's just a loose game,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But I remember getting I definitely remember picking up on N64 a game called Chameleon
Yeah.
Twit, I think, or
Okay.
Twist, I think it's called. So I remember playing that, getting a few games, yeah, from Blockbuster, and that was always like a tradition for sure.
Yeah, video games definitely made the holidays. I mean, getting my NES in '89, getting my Super Nintendo right before Christmas of '92, with my Super Scope as my gift for Christmas that year. I remember sitting there playing it in my bedroom. I have video of it somewhere. Um, Getting my Game Gear in '93. It was just always something. Video games were rad. Like in '96 or '7, I didn't get it, but I wanted the PlayStation really bad. So I'm trying to get my son some games for Christmas this year to kind of keep that going.
Getting some Switch games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have pictures I had shown before here on the podcast, but I have a Christmas photo from me back in the day playing Nintendo. I think I'm playing Mario.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Here's that photo there. Zoom it in so you guys can see it if you guys are watching on YouTube. But
Oh
there's
yeah, that's great. That looks like
Mario on the
something
screen.
straight out of my retro life.
Let's see. I'm the this one.
Yeah. I love the couch and I love the glass top
Oh, the coffee table
coffee table there. Yeah, thanks.
with like the ashtray in it.
Oh yeah, yep. But look at that NES sitting there. That was beautiful.
And I honestly can't remember whose house that is and who that is in the picture.
So that's
Like
not your
friend
house.
wise. No, this one wasn't at my house.
Wow.
I know that at least.
So
So,
here's one of me. This is at my sister's house in Johnsonville, South Carolina, and my mom is opening up her gifts, and you can see me playing the Game Gear there. This is a wait. Let me find the right corner. This is a Ren Hook doll that I bought my
oh
brother,
yeah.
who you see standing over watching me because I knew he liked Ren and Stimpy. And you can see some of my sister's like decorations on her little mantle here. But that's just me trying to entertain myself while all the adults opened all their foreign gifts.
You're like, oh, socks
I don't want to watch this. No,
and
who cares if you
sweater.
got oven mitt holders?
Nice.
So yeah,
Christmas magic.
yeah.
I hope.
Hopefully, we were able to like crystallize that for you guys.
Yeah, and I said, now being adults, having kids, you kind of pass traditions on to what made Christmas magical for you growing up, whether it be getting some Cadbury eggs in their stocking stuffer or maybe playing some video games. So
Yep.
Christmas break's coming up.
Yeah,
Definitely good times.
absolutely.
Sweet. Hey, if you guys want to call into the show, we do have a phone number to leave us a voicemail, 949-682-9277. That's 949-682-WARP. Tell us how we're doing. Leave a voicemail. And you can hear yourself on the podcast.
Yep.
Check out the weeklywarpipe.com for all our episodes. And quick shout out to Patreon supporters, Dana Nicole's Treasures Untold, Trace Levingood, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Richard Hall 16, Austin Mills for supporting the podcast. We appreciate you. That sums it up. Hopefully you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Get some good stuff. Let us know in the comments what you guys are getting, what made Christmas magical for you. Yeah, we'd love to hear some feedback and stories for sure.
Yep. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, guys.
That's it. As always, thanks for jumping in the warp pipe with us, and we'll see you on the next level.